They're going to need to give that Kukulkan some time. So the Kukulkan and this set, the right side of the map, which was our focus coming in here for the Valkyries, just in the way that the picks kind of ran out, I think once again just is going to have that focus. A lot of pressure on them to make sure they execute here in game number 1. Leviathans and Valkyries, let's get down to the action.
And it's one win away for the Leviathans, and a set win to be in sole possession of first place, at least for the day, until the Bolts and the Dragons play their games tomorrow.
Micro play we saw over on the duo lane normally supports will hog out that first purple, so they're able to rotate into lane more quickly. But the Valhalla Valkyries and more specifically Rapper, more specifically Panatom, able to find first blood in mid. My bad, Dave. I was out here talking about minutia when action's happening and on the screen. Thinks better of it, does not commit his own ultimate. Maybe here's the call out from his solo laner. Hey, Ducky's rotating. He's in rage form. Don't fight him.
Panatom uses the 9 turns blessing here. The heal will be just around the corner, and it is popped. Now Julio jumps on in, drops the Sentinel of Zeus for a little bit of shooting. The slow is there as well, but Johnny rotating over from mid. Panatom desperately trying to escape. He's bought enough time for the cooldowns, and Panatom survives. But Rongyu, he's rotated over from duo as well. Shinto will weave some damage in. Johnny blocked off by the wall, and the pullback in from Raffer will detonate the Scarab's blessing. Is the damage there? It sure is, as Shinto closes the gap. A double kill for the Raijin, and the Leviathans pull 2 more.
That is a master class on how to just trade aggro
the other way, right? I'm chasing that kill down 10 times out of 10, and I'm probably dying for it on the other side. But that's a bit of the disrespectful play style that you talked about, and a massive root there from Panatom. One taunted in with the 9 turns blessing. And then the Taiko drums from Shinto will find the taunt and the damage onto Zeros. That's got to be a kill, and it's a killing spree for the Raijin. Rapper on the outside of the Scarab's blessing, right back into range of the damage. It's only 1 pick. That's a massive setup there. Raijin is not something I want to go up against. The ability to disengage, keep yourself alive while pouring out damage from a range is so difficult to deal with. Could be a kill on the menu here for the Valhalla Valkyries as Johnny rotates through, finds now an opening kill on a bit out of place Rongyu. Shinto being looked at by Johnny, but Panatom may be here to save the day. Raiju connects, pin on down. Of course Panatom hits that one. Johnny survives though, unbelievable. And the jungler will get out alive. That's a win.
And then force the fight there. Pyromancer, not a big enough prize, I think, at this point for the Leviathans to risk their lead.
No, you're not going to roll the dice on that. You will roll the dice onto Zeros, who holds on to both of his active speeds. Gets used now. Spirit of the 9 wins, excuse me, off to the side. Zeros will survive. Only uses the beads, so patient on the actives. Keeps Zeros in a position to have the Aegis later on. A little bit of damage from the Spirit of the 9 wins, but Rongyu wants more. Blink forward, freeze onto Raffer. The root will connect onto Panatom. But the Scarab just a little bit too tanky right now to finish off the kill. The re-engage from the Valhalla Valkyries is here, and it is swift. Yarkor, big slow around the center of this fight as Emilito picks up the first kill. Johnny won't get executed until Panatom dashes away, but Julio Mifflin still wreaking havoc in the back.
Ducky now left alone, isolated. Rongyu trying to finish that one up, but it's Shinto who gets credit. Emilito forced to use the airstrike defensively, and that is a 1-for-1 trade. Solo laner for Huns, but there was no follow-up to find the kill. Julio tries his best, but Nike's damage output is not too much at this phase of the game.
Well, Zero's beads, those are the active, or that is the active that's now down, and the Valhalla Valkyries able to secure the Oni Fury. Rongyu doesn't have mana, but he's got enough for the wall, and that's kept Rapper right where he is. Shinto swinging away for free on the backline, but the Valkyries surge forward and find the front line of the Leviathans as Ducky left alone. 1v3, gets the roar, gets the kill, down goes Rongyu. But it's a trade immediately back from Shinto, who's now rampaging as Julio will up down, try to find a re-engage, but the Valkyries, they're getting out.
Zero's forced to use the Aegis off of just the damage from Shinto. Taiko drum and the aim through the walls, all still too good. Julio not quite willing to let this one go. Spots out Emilito, sees that he's low, but now starts to disengage. Johnny teleports forward mid-game. And the Valhalla Valkyries are using that slower pace to just catch themselves up.
You know, it's all fine and good for the Valkyries. You're still going to have to kill Shinto at some point. This Raijin is 5-0-1. And doing a lot of damage to your support, and Raffer will have to use the Scarab's blessing. Oh, the wall. Of course it's perfect from Rongyu. And then a taunt back in will keep Raffer right where he is, but Raffer survives for just a little while longer than I think the Leviathans expected. Panatom had to use his ult. No funny business involved. So the Leviathans now get an important pick, an important kill, and more important gold into their back pocket. Look at this call from the Valkyries. They have started up the FG, and Emilito now has to use his ult defensively. Zero's just collapsed on here. Spirit of the Nine Winds flies through as Aegis is back off of cooldown.
But
Yarkor finds one. Shinto finds another. Ducky wreaking havoc in the backline, rent-free is the Valhalla Valkyrie solo laner, but it might be time to pay that rent if he ends up going down here, but instead Julio jumps on out. The Valhalla Valkyries now lurking by the FG. You have to be careful, don't you, Miff, if you're the Leviathans here, because you can start up this FG, but this guy here in the mid lane that is no longer on the map could steal it away. Zero's off the map for the next 50 seconds, and so is the serious steal potential from that mid lane pick. And look at this, the Leviathans surging back towards the FG pit.
The walls have been so on point from Rongyu at this point. You gotta think the Valhalla Valkyries are just exercising hubris in not picking up a Phantom. That might be the first time Rongyu has ever not hit a wall. Little caster's curse right there. That's on me. That's on me. But he instantly cancels it. It's gonna be back up already, Dave. All right, he's got plenty of shots to shoot.
Just giving you a hard time, as always, Mifflin, as the Fire Giant is started up. But this wall's great. It's locked off Raffer.
Oh, my God.
And Ducky from the rest of the fight. Scarab's Blessing is ready, and it's used on the Scarab himself. Johnny trying to dive the backline. But what are you doing? Shinto is 7-0-4. What are you diving this man for? A double kill for Yarkor. Another good wall. Raffer scurrying away, but he will not escape. Emilito, the last Valkyrie alive against a Deicide, and the Leviathans happy with 4.
Goodness gracious, man. Raffer's been getting caught out in these fights so often. I don't think a Scarab's Blessing has been used on a teammate more than once or twice this game. Instead, it's just been used to extend his own life for a couple of seconds until the rest of the Leviathans can get back there and then kill him again. Raffer not finding a ton of value on this camp already. Now, we get to get a second first, same as the first situation. Best of luck, Valkyries. You got to do the exact same thing, but this time in mid, and this time without your Hunter, Yarkor, dropping some taunts on the corpse.
What was that? It was a stun and 2 autos. Emilito didn't have his beads. Finally, the 1v1 Yarkor's been wanting. And he gets the kill on Emilito. And how impactful that might be, Mifflin. 45 seconds with no Hunter for the Valhalla Valkyries. Still a minute left on the Fire Giant power play. And the Leviathans feeling confident now. Walking into the base of the Valhalla Valkyries. Julio finds Zeros in the backline as he had so many times this game. Shinto on the right, pouring out some damage thanks to the Raiju. But
finding pressure. Have we seen this Sunder from Raffer strip away a shield from Julio? And if it has happened, did it matter? So far, not yet. A fight erupting in the neutral. That's tough.
Well, it's another good knock-up here from Ducky, but as the follow-up there, the Spirit of the Nine Winds says no. But look at this, Rongyu taken low. Johnny taken down. Shinto finds the 8th kill of the game for the Leviathans mid laner. Raffer will keep himself in place, and Yarkor on an absolute tear as well. This has got to be the last fight that this game will see, and Emilito backpedaling as best as he can, but he'll go down, at least to earth, with the airstrike, but Panatom from range hits the double. Shinto's divine. Leviathans get the Deicide, and game 1 is done.
Valhalla Valkyries try and spring a trap inside the jungle. Unfortunately, it's Rongyu that steps into it, and Ymir, at this phase of the game, with this kind of lead, yeah, he's not gonna die easily. I'm pretty sure he sat in an entire tornado from Zeros, and it just didn't matter.
He's over there. Hopefully Johnny can execute the level we know he normally can on this pick here.
I mean, you've got some pretty telegraphed leaps on the other side. If Johnny's gonna be in the right positions, I think he'll be able to land.
Well, let's see him put into action. Game number 2, Dolson and Miff, take it away.
All you can ask from the Valhalla Valkyries is that you change some stuff up from game 1. That didn't work. Moving on in here into game number 2, and they did, Mifflin. But was it a lateral change? Was it a forward change? Was it a backward change? Zeros
for it nonetheless, and already a 1-level deficit in the jungle. Panatom slightly behind.
Panatom trying to back here, but Johnny has other ideas in mind. Panatom blinks away. It's the knock-up from Johnny here. That is massive damage from the jungler who remounts up. And the last bit of mana that Panatom has is going to be used to escape here. Julio finds the Fearless. Has Johnny paid with his life? No, he turns around the kill. But likely Julio on the other end of things here will pick up one as well unless Johnny can find the execute, and he will not. And Panatom now on the board. Thanks to a gift from Johnny. Both junglers on the board first.
After the initial fearless from Julio, Johnny realizes, all right, there is left alone on the dive like he was in game 1. Well, at least he can spawn his own buddy this time around. Argus should be able to help out. Ducky getting aggressive inside the solo lane, transforms into the rage state, but does not find the CC. Julio able to walk on out, but Panatom wants some more.
Whoa. Lots of damage over onto Johnny, but there's the Wheelix damage I was talking about. Johnny has 2 kills in about 5 minutes. Julio taking big damage from Ducky here as well. Are you going to look for the tower dive? Ducky was, but is no longer. It's going to be the quote backstage between games 1 and 2. I need somebody to find me a list of everyone that Yarkor has soloed at some point this year, and I'll finish that thought after you see what happens here with Zeros, who has dropped down Argus, and for the time being, it's delayed out this fight, but Rapper continues to walk forward, and Panatom will gladly thank him for it, but from half HP, Panatom gone before my eyes. And the Leviathans grab 1, but lose their jungler in the meantime. Or is there a threat of Johnny having to slow down at some point and Panatom maybe catching up? Panatom 1 level behind, 1 kill behind, but a few extra deaths on the table. Well, Johnny's not going to slow down, is he? Wrong you. Through the Riptide, uses the beads to stay alive here. And instead, Zeros gets baited in, and Shinto turns around the damage, turns around the kill. It's the flicker on the other side of the slow, and this is just going to be extra damage to pad those stats. Valkyries thought they had 1, and instead Leviathans will find 2.
Man, you better not count out Shinto in the mid. Walks up, turns a 1v3 into something that looks a little bit easy. 2 levels up, maybe now just 1 level and a half as Zeros does tick over to 12. It might as well play around your largest lead. And right now for the Leviathans, that's in mid.
Oh man, Rapper bid thee farewell, and it's Shinto now on the board for the 2nd time this game, and Yarkor maybe has found another. The airstrike keeps Emilito alive. My guy's got to have like 20 HP total. 1 more auto attack would have got it done there from Yarkor. Panatom still lurking. Johnny is as well, though. The jungle outside of the solo lane, probably the most even part on the map right now. Both junglers have 3 kills, but the collapse, Miffwood is here.
Yeah, no fair, man. You brought your boys. Johnny was looking for the 1v1 up against Leviathans, getting the better end of these engagements. So far, Rapper falls down for free in that last one, and now I think the Leviathans can start to utilize Shinto on this Merlin as Johnny. My man is staying active.
Johnny up and over onto Shinto, but doesn't get the kill. Now Johnny has to use the beads as Panatom re-engages. A great freeze from Rapper. Nearly helps Johnny turn around the fight, but instead the sidesteps are going to have to get it done, and Shinto on a killing spree finally gets it done, and Panatom survives. It's disaster for the Valkyries around the red buff.
Stun from Rongyu does ring true, but maybe should have waited on the Omi to set up for Shinto.
A lot of it's been on Johnny, but Johnny's traded his life out for every kill that he's gotten here so far. So that might have to change down the stretch here. Good wall from Raffer, blocks off the Riptide, but the Riptide reached nonetheless by Rongyu. 3 versus 3 continues in mid. Panatom pulls Zeros right on back. Beads used early. In the swipe from Panatom in 1 fell swoop, Zeros is KIA and missing from the game.
Meanwhile, Yarkor doing what Yarkor is doing, sitting on the tower line, fighting inside the wave and still winning the engagement. Rapper, rest in peace, bud. You did not stand a chance. 1 versus 4 against the 4-man core of the Leviathans. Yarkor uses that pressure already established earlier on to go ahead and pull out that gold for you. The Leviathans are running a clinic at this point, and it's only 3, now 4,000 the opportunity to rotate out just yet. And it seems like the Leviathans have shifted up their strategy, throwing some respect towards the Valhalla Valkyries sole laner, decide to ignore his side of the map, rightfully so.
Rapper able to sidestep the important abilities, but not that one. The Riptide finds its mark. Rapper waltzing away. Is he able to survive? Panatom says no thank you, uses the beads, grabs the kill, killing spree now for the Leviathan's jungler. Rapper 0-4 here in game number 2. Julio's going to grab the Greater Scorpion here. Nobody from the Valkyries on the right-hand side of the map, so this one will be free. What's the win condition here for the Valkyries?
I need to see the Valhalla Valkyries work together even a little bit, and that's going to start with Rapper and Zeros together.
Here's what feels bad. The most fed person on the Leviathans can be there for every fight because he's in the mid lane. A beautiful River's Rebuke gets Zeros out of the map once more. Panatom pulled back in by Johnny, and Johnny will pull back a kill. So the Valkyries now on the board to the tune of a 1-for-1. Ducky, both solo laners now here for the remainder of this fight, and Ducky is looking for some extra.
Rapper, man, you gotta get out of there. You are too low to stick around in this fight, and Julio makes his way into the fight as well, able to force Emilito back, but not quite able to connect the Fearless onto Johnny. That is a clean disengage from the Valhalla Valkyries, 1-for-1 trade, and any trade when you're this far behind feels good for the Valks.
Yeah, Zero's had to use both actives, all beads, hoping for a miracle steal or fumble from the Leviathans, but that does not happen often. We've now reached 7,500 gold in a differential. Rongyu walks forward, throws up the River's Rebuke, but hey, Zeros, he's been left alone, and Zeros will fall alone. The Valhalla Valkyries, though, might join him here shortly as Julio picks up one onto Raffer. The rest of the chase continues, but it's over in mid, and Ducky will get sent back into the awaiting arms of a 406 Merlin.
And then sent back yet again. Rongyu not willing to let him walk away. Shinto picks up that one. Attempts to steal away the red buff and is successful this time around, maintaining his life, but the bigger red buff, the fiery red buff, getting contested by the Leviathans, and nobody from the Valhalla Valkyries anywhere in range of defense.
Ducky blinks forward, but Ducky will not get the chance to steal it away. Uses the beads on the Cucullin, finds the double knockup, and so Ducky will survive to fight another day, unless Panatom has pulled the Cucullin back into the awaiting arms of the Leviathans. All 5 members of the Leviathans on the right-hand side of the map. The Valkyries farming up the left. Emilito pushing in, might be able to find a Phoenix here on left for the Valkyries, but instead the Leviathans send themselves over to the right. Look at this, though. A couple members of the Valkyries moving down mid lane. Nobody going back just yet. Emilito might not even be able to get this left side Phoenix because Panatom has found the engagement. It's an airstrike away from the Jingwei.
We looked away for one moment already. Emilito on the retreat. We looked away back towards the defense, and then Shinto picks up a kill on the Ymir. The Leviathan splitting up the entire game. Yeah, go for it, boys.
They just walk in. They're just walking in. The backs have been stopped. One has on the left-hand side of the map. Yarkor being looked at by Zeros, but Shinto on a killing spree. Argus was not able to get it done. Johnny will be burned away by Shinto. 708. As Yarkor finds the first kill in the game, Panatom completes the 1v1 against Emilito at Deicide at 22 minutes. And the Leviathans will not be denied here. They take the set 2-0.
4 members going undying, and